So this starts our first section of our new graphing unit, which is graphing systems. And let's start by just talking about what the heck a system is, because we haven't seen that before. This is something that we didn't do last year, something that should be brand new to you. But it has a little bit of what we've done before embedded in it. So today you're going to graph a system to find the point where they intersect, and then you're going to solve the system by graphing. So a set of two or more equations is called a system, and it looks like this. This is what we're going to be seeing throughout this entire unit. So it usually has this little bracket, and this is a system of equations because it's multiple equations. And when I ask you to solve a system of equations, you're going to find the point where they intersect. Because these, as you know from our last unit, can be made into lines. So today we're going to be graphing those lines to see where they intersect. Alright, so here we have some systems of equations, and like I said before, this has some information that we've done in the past embedded within it. So I know this was a long time ago, but for example, these equations are in slope-intercept form. So if you remember way back, we learned about slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. M is our slope and b is our intercept. Remember, b is where we begin on the graph on the y, and m is how we move, and it's always rise over run. Okay, so that's a complete review, but it's going to be very important when we're graphing systems, because it's basically like you're just graphing two lines like we've done before. So, example 1, what you're going to do is you're going to take your first line and just focus on that. So it's in slope-intercept form. So this is our B, that's where we're going to begin, and this is our slope, that's how we're going to move. So remember, you always begin on the y-axis, so we're going to start at 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our first point. And this is our slope, so it's going to be rise over run. So we're going to go up 1 and then over 3. So from that point, so up 1, over 3, up 1, over 3. And for this, before I told you guys it's okay to just do 3 points, but you're going to notice real quickly that it's going to make your life so much simpler when you are doing system of equations to do as many points as possible, because that will help you find the point of intersection. Okay, so you can go ahead and connect those dots. I'm not, because it's going to look like a second grader did it, but you can go ahead and connect those. So we've graphed our first equation, our first line from our system, and you have a second one here that you need to graph, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to start at our B, and we're going to move with our slope. So we're going to start at 1, and we're going to move up 4, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 3, 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, already I have intersected my other line. Okay, you have to do 3 points, so let's go ahead and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. So my second line is going to intersect with my first line at this point. So what you've done is you've solved this system of equations by graphing, by finding this point. Okay, you are not finished with the problem until you write that ordered pair. So what's your x, what's your y? So let's figure out what that point is. So we start at the middle. How many over? 1, 2, 3. So our x is 3, and our y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the point of intersection for this system is 3 over 5. Okay. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to have us try that one together. You can try it without me right now if you want to move on. But I want to go to the next page to try one of these with you. Let's look at example number 3. Example number 3 looks a little strange, but let's talk through it. So again, we have another system of equations here. Here's our first one, and we have our second one. So you might be thinking, that first one looks a little weird. So let's go ahead and start with the not weird one that's in slope-intercept form. So here's our b, here's our m. So I'm going to start on my y, so I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to move up 3 over 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And remember, your life is easier if you do the most points that you can. So just keep going until you run out of room. Hopefully you're doing this with me. Alright, so there's my first line, or actually my second line. Now let's go back to this weird one. So this is not in slope-intercept form. So if it's not in that form, then it must be, it's not going to be a diagonal line like this. It's either going to be a horizontal line or a vertical line. Okay, so all we can do is look at our graph and think, well, I know that this stands for x. This is my x-axis. So where on my x-axis would x equal -4? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here is x equals -4. Is there anywhere else on the graph where x is always going to be -4? Well, it would be anything that's on this line. Okay, because all of these points have an x that's a -4. Like this would be -4, 2, -4, 8, -4, -3. So what you're going to have here is, is a vertical line, because all of those points are where x is equal to -4. Okay, and what we have is this is your point of intersection. So let's go ahead and find that ordered pair. So x is going to be -4, and we went down 1 to that point where they intersect. So you solved this system of equations by graphing, by finding the point where they intersect. I'm going to have you guys try this one on your own, but let's make a little note of that weird equation. Whenever you have an x by itself, it's going to be a vertical line, okay, just like we did, a vertical line. And whenever you have y equals something, it's going to be a horizontal line. So just keep that in mind. It's a little hint. So I'd like you guys to at least try this one on your own, and we'll go through number 2 together.